She Talks Life is no stranger to having overcome fear in order to accomplish life's biggest accomplishments. Here to share with me her personal journey of conquering fear is supermodel Candace Roberts. Thank you so much for coming.
Absolutely.
This has been an absolute joy to have you here and to talk with you, and now we get to interview you. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you are She Talks Life's very first interview. I'm so happy to have you here, not just because you're my friend, but because when I think about your life and your journey, your life really has been a true inspiration to me. Just seeing how much you've had to go through in order to be right here in this moment. So I'm just so proud of you, first of all, and thank you. Yeah, thank you for sharing your journey with us. So when did you realize a supermodel is what you wanted to do in your life?
Wow. Well, initially as a Christian, a younger Christian, when I first met the Lord and realized how much He loved me, I also learned that every single human being has a purpose. And knowing that we have a purpose, I thought, who better to ask than Him? So initially I started seeking God, asking Him every day for 30 days, what is my purpose?
Wow.
What was I created to do? And He brought to my attention that the very desires I had as a young girl is exactly what I'm going to be doing. So initially He said, what about modeling, or consider modeling? So I took what He said and began to believe that not only was I going to model, but I was a model.
That's amazing. You said so much in there. I think the biggest, or one of the most important things that you said is, God as your creator made you, and so you went back to Him and asked, what do I do with this life that you've given me? And He kind of directed you. A lot of times when I talk to younger people, they ask me that question: how do you know what you're supposed to do in life? And for me and you, the answer has been the same. We went in prayer and just said, Lord, what do we do? You created us, you created the desires of our hearts, and He gave you that answer. I think that's absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. So once you got the answer, what kind of fears or trials did you have to go through in order to get where you're at now?
Initially whenever I got that answer, I was full of so much joy. I was actually in shock joy.
Wow.
I couldn't believe that the very thing I wanted to do as a young girl was a reality for me. The fear that initially came in after the shock wore off was I didn't have or know anyone that looked like me. Okay, of course you see Tyra Banks and you see Naomi Campbell, but still I don't think there was enough models that looked like me, that had the same facial features that I had. You only saw specific women on the covers of magazines or doing this or doing that. So I had to overcome by believing that what God said was truer than what I saw. I had to just believe that I was beautifully made according to what He says, and that's still a challenge.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I think a lot of times when we look at the dreams and the aspirations that we want to do, a lot of times they're up here, and a lot of times they are bigger than what we're able to accomplish in our own abilities. And a lot of times we do have those thoughts of, I don't see anyone doing this the way that I'm going to do it, or I don't see anyone that looks like me doing it. How did you transition yourself? Okay, I don't see anyone doing this the way I want to do it, to, okay, I'm going to move forward anyway. Was it a thought process that you began to do? Was it did you just start practicing? What did that look like for you?
Well, initially, whenever I would have doubts, I learned to doubt my doubts. And
that's amazing. I love that.
But
taking it.
Yeah, exactly. But also, I felt like God said, if you don't believe it, it won't happen for you. So initially, I had to just go into what He said. I said, well, what do models do? I had to initially force myself to start walking, to start sending my pictures into modeling agencies. And and as I did that, I started to become more confident and believe that, hey, whatever God says is true.
Right, it's going to happen no matter what. That's powerful. I love that. So I know a lot of times in my own walk as well, I had to face like things not happening when I wanted it to happen. So you get this realization like, okay, you know, I'm going to be a supermodel. I'm going to be a talk show host. Now, it doesn't happen how or when, you know, we want it to.
That's true.
Yeah, and so for me, I started facing a whole other process of, okay, get over your own thoughts of how it's going to happen.
Yes.
Like, forget about you wanting it to happen in 2016 or 2019.
Yeah.
How about you just start focusing on the now?
Yeah.
And focus on what you can do to practice.
Exactly.
So what does your practice look like on a daily basis?
That's a good question, and I feel like God kind of helped me with this in order to keep me motivated, to keep me moving forward in my thinking and becoming. That's what I should call it, in becoming.
Yes.
And stepping into the shoes of supermodel.
Yeah.
I do something called Runway Mondays, where
initially,
I put my camera on my tripod or my phone on my tripod, and I record myself walking in order to create that muscle memory in my hips and also in my feet. I'm wearing different stiletto shoes in order to just become comfortable in that, but also remembering that what God told me is truer than anything that I've experienced. The length of time, it's taken a long time, my age, the way that I look, I had to believe God no matter what. So in order to keep that momentum, Runway Monday started. Tuesdays, getting in front of the mirror and declaring that I am natural and I am confident and I relax in front of the camera always.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think one of the things that we talked about is you stepping into you, not stepping into Naomi Campbell or, you know, stepping into Tyra Banks. They're amazing, but it's weird to think from this perspective, and I'll kind of come back around why I'm saying this. It's weird to think that a Tyra Banks would settle for being an accountant, or like a Naomi Campbell would settle for being, I don't know, just a writer or something like that. And I'm not knocking those professions, but what I'm saying is a lot of times when our dreams are really, really big, we'll settle for doing something lesser because we think it's too big. But I think it's amazing because you talk about, you know, you just stepping into it and practicing it, even though certain things, certain successes, as the world would call it, even though you haven't got there yet, you're still practicing every single day towards those goals. So that, to me, is Candace Roberts knows that she's a supermodel. You are a supermodel. And not moving towards that goal would be, you know, the world without a Tyra Banks, the world without a Naomi Campbell.
Exactly.
And so I think it's really powerful that you have said, okay, the Lord told me that this is what I'm going to be doing. Let me be diligent in that, and let me move towards it every single day, no matter how big it looks like it is. So,
you know, you said something amazing. You're encouraging me. You really, really are. And it takes a lot at times for me to even practice, which goes into play with you have to believe what God has told you. Because if I chose to not believe, which is not practice or not even focus on what God told me, I would never accomplish what He's called me to be. So I'm still on the journey, and every single step of the way, I'm looking to Him and looking to other inspirations to work out, to eat right, and to do the very things that models do, considering that's what He told me I was already.
That's amazing. You know, one thing I've learned with, you know, starting the She Talks Life movement is that when you figure out what it is that you're called to do, you now have more work to do than the average person.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Talk about working an 8 to 5, taking care of your family, having all of these responsibilities, and then having almost this burden, not a heavy burden, a burden still of, okay, I want to be a model, I want to be a talk show host. I still need to put steps forward to make sure I'm preparing for that. So that to me is an encouragement to our viewers. Just because you finally realize what you want to do, it doesn't get easier. It gets harder. And I think that's where a lot of people stumble, because they don't recognize that there's preparation in the process, and there's so much that goes into the back end. A lot of times we see actors and actresses and you see them on camera, but you don't see all the work that it took for them to get there. So that's encouraging me, because I always feel like, man, there's so much work that goes into this. But we all do. We all, if we're, reaching for certain goals, we all have to do a lot of work.
Yeah. We have to tend it. We have to tend that garden, the garden of your dream, which is generally your purpose. Passion, is linked to purpose. But it's what I've learned in my life. So yes, I do work a normal job, but then I do have to go home and think about the dream, because I do believe that the dream initially is going to be my normal everyday life. One day I have to send my pictures out to different agencies. I have to step outside, even if I feel uncomfortable.
Getting outside that comfort zone, that's major. That's a whole other video right there. So you have done runway shows in the Valley. I have gone to them, and you are absolutely amazing. You light up the stage, your grace, your presence, it's phenomenal. I love watching you. What are some of the most memorable runway shows you've done?
Well, the most recent show I did this year was in Tucson. It was at the Fox Theater in Tucson, and I was, along with another model, we were in the 80s theme through a store in Tucson called Desert Vintage. So initially, we wore 80s gowns, and I wore a Giovanni Versace dress, which was phenomenally beautiful. That sounds fuchsia pink, and I wore the highest stiletto shoes that I had ever worn, and thank God I didn't fall.
Yes, thank God for your preparation. Because if you had not prepared, who knows, would have. Yes, thank God for Runway Monday, right? That's it. That's amazing. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Well, you have just been such an inspiration to me. Such an inspiration to younger people, saying, I don't know what I want to do in life, or maybe I do know what I want to do in life. But again, I think what I'm hearing from you, and even from my own personal story, is practice. Persevere. Keep going.
Oh my goodness.
When fear comes in, just keep going. And actually, to that note of fear, I have one last question for you. When I first realized that I wanted to have my own talk show, I was not receiving a lot of negativity from other people. It was it was me. It was me that I had to battle the most, even on an everyday basis when we talk about practice and we talk about, leaving at 8 to 5 and having to come home. Whereas other people can go home and turn TV on and relax. We're having to come home and tend that garden. And so we're having to kind of lay down the flesh. And, I can't be, it's not even lazy. I can't relax. I need to go and tend this garden. What kind of inner fears do you have to get over and triumph on a daily basis?
Inner fears for me, a lot of times, and I guess I haven't arrived. It's everything from comparison. I look at one model's journey and think, she's been doing it for 1 year and she's already here and there and here and there. So what is wrong? Do they not like my look? Okay, if they don't like my look, it doesn't mean that what God said isn't true.
Right.
Also, my age. I know that a lot of people don't know my age, or I don't look per se my age.
You do not.
And we won't say that.
Right, we will not say that.
But those are the inner battles of, time is ticking. I'm not getting any younger, and still, I still haven't gone through those doors that I believe that only God can open. But at the same time, there's still hope because His word is true. His word is true. So, I have to doubt my doubts, and I have to speak against those thoughts, which is, I'm exactly who God says I am. Not more than enough.
Yes.
So,
And with that, Candace, you are going to move mountains. I absolutely cannot wait to see who you are, in the next year, or where you are. You're already who you are, but where you are, where you will be in your career in the next year, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years.
I believe that.
Yeah,
Thank you so
yes,
much.
absolutely. We will be looking back on this interview going, can you believe where we were?
I'll cry.
Literally, me too. Crying, but celebrating.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. This has been an absolute pleasure to interview
so much.
you.
Thank you.
If anyone wants to know more about Candace Roberts, where can they go? I believe you have an Instagram.
I do, and my handle is Candace, spelled Candace, Royal _T, TEA, Candace Royal _, T.
Perfect. And if anyone did not get that, we'll have it right in the description bar right at the bottom. You can also view it on shetalkslife.com. I will have this video as well as any other links for Candace Roberts. Again, thank you so much. I'm so happy that you are here and that you are She Talks Life's very first interview.
I'm honored.
Love you. Love you too.